Well, hello! Welcome back to Doki Doki Literature Club!
My name is Travis Peter, and this is episode 2, and this is a shot of vodka. Oh, that was icky. That was gross. Why did I do that? I did it because I needed it. I really need it. I haven't even gotten to like the weird stuff in this game, I'm pretty sure yet. Well, this has been a lot. Anyway, we're in a literature club with a bunch of weird chicks, and we wrote a poem, and now we're gonna see which one falls in love with us, because that's how video games work. So let's just get back into it. Hi again, Travis. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least kept my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last one to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out.
Thanks for keeping your promise, Travis. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it.
Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it.
Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps a manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga.
Manga is literature.
Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat.
Don't worry, guys. Travis always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable.
Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once.
Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come you and Travis can become good friends too?
I apologize. I'm so sorry. I feel like I just need to keep apologizing for her. Sayori? As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into.
Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Wait, Sayori?
Me?
Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing.
What is it?
Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Yuri. I wasn't thinking.
I guess that means it's up to me to rescue this situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what.
Is that so?
Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be.
All right. Well, here.
Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book.
I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. There's pictures in it because you look like you're really stupid. Do you even know how to read?
Sorry, I'm improvising now. I can't help it. And we could,
you know, discuss it if you wanted, with our tongues in each other's mouths.
Sorry, that's not what it said as well. For anybody who's listening and not watching. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I'm definitely not gonna look up a synopsis online and pretend like I read it. I enthusiastically take the book. Yeah.
Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think.
Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little more. Okay, so the poem must have worked. It sounds like this game is like heading towards Yuri now. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse off the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and her eyes meet for a split second. I'm so straight. I'm so straight. That only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry. I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable.
It's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. I'm just rereading a bit of this, so...
That's the book you gave me, right?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason.
Just curious how come you have 2 copies of the same book.
Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them.
Oh, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. She bought you a copy of the book, yo. Bro, obviously. To impress you, but she doesn't want to admit to it. You fucking knew. You fucking knew. I'm not even straight and I get this game, okay? I'll definitely start reading it soon.
I'm glad to hear that. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story.
Is that so? What's it about, anyway?
Well,
Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. She hasn't even read it. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover.
All right. I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister, but as soon as she does so, her life gets really, really strange. She gets targeted by these individuals who escaped from a human experiment prison, and while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart.
That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden.
Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Travis?
No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy these kind of stories, so don't worry.
I hope so.
Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different.
It's just that those kind of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be Eva, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they've made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again.
Her accent is constantly changing. It's like she's like trying to pretend to be British, but also trying to pretend to not be British at the same time.
I'm sorry.
Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything.
Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much.
I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all.
That's true.
In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right?
You don't have to.
What are you saying? Just a moment ago, you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. All right, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive.
I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone.
I see. Well, Just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything.
All right.
I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead.
Sorry, I was just...
Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you?
I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry, I mean...
Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, and then hold my book more between the two of them.
I suppose so.
Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. That's basically sex. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page.
Here.
Ooh, look at that custom art. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. This sounds like a pain in the ass way to read a fucking book. Like, get the audiobook and share fucking headphones, weirdos. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer than before. It's actually, being straight sounds exhausting. I am so tired. Is this what it's like? Is this what it's like for you heterosexuals? Is it this exhausting? Because I'm tired. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision.
Are you ready?
Eh?
To turn the page.
Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her.
That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do.
Excuse me.
Since you've been so patient with me.
Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it onto her own thumb. Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit.
You think so? Really? It's like I'm the main character of a story? Is it grabbing your attention? How does she?
Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also has second guesses all the things that she says and does. Like, she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of like reminiscent of some of your mannerisms.
I see.
You remain silent for a moment.
But Travis, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. Oh, that's so embarrassing that you think that.
Oh my god. Wait, I miss Craig from Dream Daddy, okay? I miss him. I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute.
What are you saying all of a sudden?
Okay, everyone. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that all right, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you've been looking forward to this. I actually kind of like Monica the best, to be quite honest. And I think it might just be because I'm giving her that insane, terrible Southern accent.
It's not. It's fine.
Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Like it snapped shut? Like, what kind of spring-loaded spine does this book have? Anyway, all right. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? Smooth, Travis.
I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way.
In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know?
That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time.
All right. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Okay, here's the thing. I am very into bookmarks, and I like have special bookmarks. Like, I have this Harry Potter bookmark that has like a tassel and little charm at the end, and anytime I read a new Harry Potter book, obviously this has not been the case for a long time, but I did use it when the script for The Cursed Child came out, but I could only hold my place. I only read, when I'm reading the physical Harry Potter books, I only use that bookmark, and I only ever use that bookmark for Harry Potter. But then otherwise I have like other like specific bookmarks. But I've met so many people who, first of all, bend like the page, which is like sacrilege. Also, like, who just don't have bookmarks. They just sort of like remember where they were at. And it's like, I don't know, I'm pro bookmark. Let me know in the comments how you feel about bookmarks. What is your opinion about bookmarks? Do you use them? Do you have a favorite? Maybe I'm weird. Am I not weird? Anyway, let's continue. I make a mental note of where, okay, slip back in my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. Couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with?
I can't wait!
Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Itsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Yuri, right? We've gotten really close with Yuri. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional.
What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face.
It's going to hit me.
You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri.
That's... I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for?
Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really.
Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. And that's how it was. I just acted it out for you.
Well, I know that. I just meant,
Yuri trails off. She melts into a puddle and no one ever saw her again. Unable to find an excuse, she traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing that I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both...
Bitch, I just wrote a poem last night. Can you just relax? It's fine. I'm a little offended. I'm not trying to become the next Pablo Neruda girl.
Style and the expressiveness are weakened.
Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert.
Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though.
Biased? How?
Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club?
Ghost unto the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calms breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back.
That's a stupid poem. Click outside the poem area to continue. Oh. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know why she was judging me.
I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting.
Everything is just popping up on my phone. I apologize. Anyway. What?
I wasn't thinking that.
I wasn't thinking that at all.
But it took you a long time to read.
Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty.
Eh?
Yeah.
That's a relief.
Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive.
It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems.
Honey, thank God that wasn't any longer. My God, I was suffering. I was literally suffering. Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. To be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Haha. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Travis. You idiot. Don't you know literature at all? You don't know how to analyze shit. You should just leave this club forever.
Just kidding. She didn't say that. Really? I must have totally missed the point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps,
I don't know why she should have constipation.
Perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
It's nothing really. Yours is impressive too, so.
Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you, girl.
You think so?
Yeah, of course.
You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Travis.
Me too? Let's do to Monica, because she's great. Hi, Travis. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you could ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening, honey. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? Your little old poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. I want to read it. Was it just those random words I picked? Don't worry, Travis. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But that's just a soda berry that we'll all have to learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Travis. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. It always counts when I put in some effort. Well, that's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Oh, good. So that makes it, I think I picked the good Yuri stuff. How do you win Monica's heart? Is this one of those, like, how Hustle Cat you had to, like, get all the good endings for all the other people to get, like, Graves' good ending? I wonder if you have to, like, play this game over and over again to get to be able to win Monica? I don't know. Maybe, unless there's another way. Maybe she's not available. That's her choice. She's an independent woman, strong and fierce and look at beautiful green eyes. Anyway, let's continue. Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, he likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all their nuances. It could take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that, darling. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot, so it could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay, darling. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims not to be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always get to feel that way, you know? I bet she's the darkest of them all. Like, underneath everything, because she's so confident on the exterior. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See, the direction the spackle protrudes, a noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend, I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel blind like film left out in the sun, but it's too late. My retinas already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. Wasn't too bright, was too deep. Stretching forever into everything, a hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. So what do you think, honey? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. It didn't rhyme, so it wasn't a poem. Yeah, I said it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style's gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the time in between the words and the lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone here is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress, darling. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. You know, the way she talks, maybe it's just because I'm saying it, for some reason this fits so much. So just move your hand, go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. I like her. Okay, let's talk to Sayori.
This is a good poem, Travis. Are you sure it's your first time?
Of course. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time?
I guess you're right, but that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid you wouldn't do it seriously, or that you wouldn't write one at all. I guess I'm really just happy that you wrote one. Just reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now.
Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise.
See? It's like I said before, Travis. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people, that's something that only really good people do.
Thanks, Sayori. Not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That will be my way of thanking you.
Alright, I'm going to hold you to that then.
Yay! Now you go read my poem right now too. Huh? Poem? Read it. Don't worry, I'm really bad at this.
Okay. I'm gonna save the game right here. And we will... Oh, my face disappeared. Okay, there we go. Now I'm back. So I'm gonna end the episode here. You're gonna wanna make sure to like this video and click subscribe so you don't miss the next episode where we get a chance to read Sayori's poem, whatever that's gonna entail. And that's everything. That's good. I feel great. Oh, why did I lie? Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Bye. Wink.